So I made a video this morning for our trainers, just outlining exactly what I would like to see moving forward. The most important thing is that we get this ship moving in the right direction, right? So it's a little different. Tim has a number of our overnight horses, so no square peg and round hole races. No, he doesn't fit the 7, but the 9's going to fill. If you'd like to race him in there, the answer is no. We're not racing him in there. We need to race our horses in a position they can win. We need to leverage every opportunity we can to do so, and that needs a step back. Everybody has to take a step back and a deep breath and take a look at what we're doing, where we're at, and how we're going to get to where we need to be. And that's mostly my job, but at the same time, it's in direct correlation and collaboration with our trainers. Now, in respect to Hanger 1 and Steady Volo yesterday. Steady Volo is a big colt. You know, he looked good his first start. The horses are going a little bit quicker. He's still at his outside knee. He's got that narrower chest. You know, truthfully, again, I have to take a step back and say, no matter what, if this is my horse, what do I do? Castrate him and turn him out. So that's exactly what we're going to do. Hanger 1. Can't castrate Hanger 1. He was castrated a long time ago. But yesterday was, I think, a combination of a lot of things, right? We were in transition where we had him out to a farm. He was on the walker a lot and in the field a lot over the last week. He was not around the racetrack. And Austin, not knowing the horse, listen, this was an impossible ask for that kid. Impossible. And I owe him an apology, I guess, for next time I see him. But, you know, as I said to you guys, the reason I kept going to Kentucky for Hanger 1 was not because I loved him so dearly. He is a nice horse, and he is a likable horse. But it was because he's not an easy horse to drive. And I think the easiest thing for Hanger is twofold. First up, get him out of Kentucky. Doesn't need to be continuing going to the Wildcats right now. I'm going to take him over to Dr. Brown, make sure there's nothing we're missing, which I don't think there is, but it's an easy ask. We'll find out for sure. And once we get him into a position we like, then it's going to be, I think we'll race him at the Meadows a couple more times again, and a horse for him, unless he explodes forward. You know, mentally, I think he does need to grow up a little bit. And I hate saying this. You know, we spent all winter working on these horses, physically, mental aspect of their entire game, and it has served us well over the last, since the stables opened. You know, the comments that you guys have sent to me have been very helpful also. I don't need any pats on the back or any, you know, hang in there champs, but understanding that, you know, some of the stuff that I had said, I guess I need to really also understand and buy into, and that's the fact that we got to where we are now doing everything a certain way. And even the thought of changing that because things aren't going right for a few weeks, or because we don't have the results we wanted with the young horses to date so far, is not a viable plan moving forward. You know, how we got them here is the same way we got all the horses here before. We've won Grand Circuit races with Pickpocket. We set a world record with Maury, and although Maury didn't come back good as a 3-year-old, he still is a decent horse. He just hasn't lived up to our expectations this year. Jailbird Jug, Perfection, or Perfect Thought are very nice horses. The other fillies in Ohio are in Kentucky are nice fillies. Supermine, Uncle Danny may not have raced well their last start, but are nice horses. And there's lots of racing left for these horses also. But getting a firm grasp on how we need to race them moving forward is the best plan of attack. They can't do in the Sire Stakes right now. They shouldn't be in the Sire Stakes right now. That goes for Uncle Danny, and that goes for Supermind, and all the horses. All of them. Now tomorrow, I asked everybody also, I need you to make sure the horses are 100% healthy and sound, ready to go. And it's not that we don't, but I wanted to make sure it was said and reiterated. Now, Eric had drawn the blood on Degas after her last start. Everything looked okay. In fact, her blood work from 3 days ago looked okay. But I asked him to be sure about everybody. Obviously, he had his concerns that Degas maybe didn't 100% bounce back yet. So he drew an SAA test on her this morning. It was 58, which isn't crazy high. But considering it was 4 the other day, means that we're not trending in the right direction. So we scratched her at tomorrow's race. I'm not taking any more chances. Not right now. We just can't. We need to understand everything that is holding every single horse back. If it's expectations, fine. That's easy to fix. If it's anything medical, you should be able to get a firmer handle on it. So Degas is out tomorrow. Now, that changes everything also. James is in Kentucky, and although he does not know Zena Kemp or Jolene Hall, he's also a world-class driver. And I'm sure he'll get along good with just fine with both of them. The reason being, I'm going to stay in Ohio, qualify Gorgeous Package, try and fix that debacle. Train a couple of horses at Northfield Park, one of them being Winter Soldier, and get him prepared for his first race for us. And make sure that he is 100%, both physically on the track and healthy-wise. Agent Black needs to continue to train. I want to get a handle on Capistrano Nights. Is she ready to go, or does she go back to the field? You can be sure there'll be no half measures. That guy just lost his lighter. That motorcycle guy. He's going to be very unhappy when he goes to smoke here in a minute. I wanted to take a couple of deep breaths before I made the video, this one or that one, just to make sure that I wasn't speaking with a tone that I was blaming anybody. I'm not. It's just racing. But I want to make sure we get it right. So, as I say this out loud, it just dawned on me that I was supposed to book off 2 horses in Pennsylvania to go to Ohio, and that is not going to happen. Oh darn!
What?
I just got fined and didn't know it. That's why you got to be on your toes. So, looking through Ohio quickly, Diosa della Danza. I guess I could. So here's my issue. I can drive Tim's horse in the 9th, leave the Meadows, and try and make it to Ohio. That's a $100 fine. Or I can stay to the end of the card, head towards Ohio, be late for Diosa della Danza, beg forgiveness, and hope I'm not fined and change the driver. The latter is likely what's going to happen. Diosa della Danza schooled good in 58 the other day. We took all the stuff off of her. She wasn't throwing her head. She was behaved, put her right up on the gate. I'm sure there won't be a problem. But again, we're in a position where, and we can't really help this. Diosa della Danza, I look quickly, there's at least 1, if not 2 horses in there show 53. And she is not going to pace 53 on Thursday night. That's reality. She's going to pace 54 and pace 55. Where that hooks her, I'm not sure. He's a Fearless Peter will likely race, again, I can drive him now on Wednesday night. He'll likely race on Wednesday night, and then that will be it for him. I don't mind the horse. I think he is a horse that will race as a 3-year-old, a 4-year-old, a 5-year-old, and do okay. But I can't justify keeping him. You know, I have a certain criteria in my mind. Is this horse worth keeping over? And over the years, I've realized that I felt sometimes I should have narrowed that criteria, and other times expanded that criteria. And the reason being, because realistically, you have to look at each horse on a case-by-case basis. Put a number on them, so to speak, whether that be a range, a level, a 1 through 10, and say, okay, well, I think this horse has a low level, like this horse will not really, I guess what I'm saying is come back to bite us. You know, sell the horse and have the horse go forward. He's a Fearless Peter, could be an overnight racehorse, maybe even a Buckeye Colt next year, but is he gonna be a horse that comes back and everybody say, didn't we have him at one point? I don't think so. I don't think he will. So Peter's likely on his way out. Steph's Hope, again, she's on a fairly regular schedule of racing now. So coming into this week, we should have a pretty good idea of what she can and can't do. You know, she's shown only 59 2 minutes, but always gave me that feeling like there was more there under the hood. Like she was going to be an easy third the other day if she doesn't get run into. She's been trotting very, very good. I would like to see a better mile from Steph. So Agent Black is Daniel's horse. That horse is going to continue to school until we get him tight. I schooled him the other day in 2-3. He wasn't quite ready to go in 2-3. Felt a little soft. He didn't hurt him. He's a big boy. But I think we're going to scale him back to 2-5, 2-6, school or train. And then just continue to do that until he feels bigger and stronger and ready to rock. It's hard to explain to you. But when you sit behind a horse, it just doesn't feels like you've asked them more than they're comfortable giving at that moment. For an older horse, you're simply having a look at where they're at in their readiness to race. And I think that Agent Black is 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks from being able to race. Neptune, it's tough racing those conditioned horses up and down the class ladder and then draw the outside. It's just a killer in Northfield. You know, you can have a good non-winners and 4 horse get beat in the non-winners of 2 if you draw 7 or 8 at Northfield. So you can only imagine how difficult it is for a middle-of-the-road horse to draw in with other middle-of-the-road horses and then be given the 7 or 8 hole. And he wasn't given it, but you know what I'm saying. So Neptune. We were taking him over to the Meadows, but he fits roughly the same classes as Patrick the Piranha and Rock Shining Star. And he's not as good as either of those 2 horses, so it would have been hard to enter him ahead of them. I'd asked Jason to look at Scioto, and there was nothing really there for him. So we'll see where he draws and what he draws this week. You know what? There's a horse there that'd be good for Corbin, wouldn't he? Neptune? I think he would be. That's just me talking out loud. Capistrano Nights, as I said, I'm going to train her tomorrow. A little bit left hind and a little peggy up front. I would guess knees and left hind. The left hind is not serious, but it's present. And it's been present for a while, which leads me to believe that it's likely, as I said, she might have got cast and strained or tore something up high in her back. She comes out of it. But as I said, train her, school her tomorrow, and see what our thoughts are on her. If I don't feel we're trending in the right direction, which quite frankly, I'll be honest with everybody, I'm not sure we are. I think we're treading water with her. Super fast filly. You can tell the talent is there. 58 last quarter and 28. All those miles we put into her where I thought maybe she wasn't paying attention. She certainly was the other day and was very, very good qualifying. But can she grow from there? Do we need to race her right now? She's not going to do in a Buckeye. If I'm telling you Diosa Della Danza's maybe in over her head where they're going to go in 53 in a Buckeye, we're not talking about the same animals right now. And as I say that, Diosa Della Danza still fits a maiden at Northfield Park. So how tough could the maiden be for a horse like Capistrano Nights? So we have to weigh all these options as we push forward. Highest Honors was great. Buckeye, I don't know. We're going to see. Now, one thing we're seeing this year is that the sky's the limit in regards to staking in a place like Ohio, Ontario, Kentucky, Pennsylvania, where you think you have a nice horse, and you do. Just 53 isn't going to cut it, or 54 isn't going to cut it in a Buckeye or a stallion event. Sweet Lake paced 53 and 4, 28 on the end of it last week, and never got paid. So that's frustrating. Royal Duchess, probably going to ease her into a racing career, lightly raced. The reason I like this filly, I like her tenacity. Wasn't a big fan of her bladder the other day, but her tenacity is definitely on point. 2-2 in her qualifier, which was a decent qualifier. Probably raced her at the fairs. A couple of starts. They don't count as pari-mutuel wins anyway. See how she performs. Maybe graduate to a maiden. If we really like what we see, maybe a fair race in Jug Week. Everybody likes to be a jug. We'll see. Judy's Money, solid Buckeye filly. Her and the filly in Kentucky were our 2 best ones, but I'd rather just race the one in the final, and the one in the consolation would be fine with me. You know, in regards to Jolene Hall, she's likely going to race, now hopefully, depending on how she does tomorrow, she'll likely hopefully race good tomorrow, and then make it into the final in Kentucky, race in, I guess, the last Buckeye in Ohio, race in the consolation, and go to Corbin. She's got about 6 starts left in her. It's fine with me. She's been doing well every week. She's a little bit better. What else do we got here? Tomboy Strong, we just got to get healthy again. Here's another filly we're moving down to the Buckeye. This is why I wasn't in a big hurry to bring Jolene Hall back, is because we have 2 solid Buckeye fillies. One in Judy's Money and one in Tomboy Strong. Emerald Tom was sick, still is a little under the weather. So again, this falls under my bracket that I was talking to both Jasons about. Make sure they are 100% healthy when they go on the track. Be certain. If you're not certain, draw blood. Resolve Indeed, a poor outing last week. I'm going to let her reset. Again, maybe we'll train her towards the end of the week, but I am in no hurry to school this filly until we know why she raced so poorly. Quite frankly, she fits an hours or 2 at the Meadows next week. I'm going to watch it go today, tomorrow. It goes one of these days. And if she fits in there, then that's where we'll go. We'll probably put a couple of good lines in her, hopefully get a win out of her. And then again, she'll be moved on also, I would imagine. Supermind, same thing. Just get him healthy. We know where he was last week. Don't want a repeat of that. We know where he was the week before. He was very good. Start before that, he was no good. Start before that, he made a break. Start before that, he was awesome. Let's stick to awesome and good and try to bypass not so good. Freedom Hill, drawing blood on her. They drew blood on her. I haven't seen the blood work up yet, but obviously something went wrong the other night. But you just can't. I know when you get a 9-5 horse, you want to put them on the front, but she doesn't do her best work on the front end, and she's a follower. Decent filly, but a follower. Winter Soldier, I'm going to train him hard tomorrow. I'll have a better idea for you tomorrow where we're going to race Winter Soldier. I would love to race this horse in the Open at Northfield. Now, he fits numbers 7 at the Meadows. He fits numbers 7 maybe in Ontario. I don't think there's an numbers 7 at well, there is, but I'm not racing him in the numbers 7 condition claim, obviously. So we'll try and get a soft spot for Winter Soldier's first start, but I would love to see this horse get around Northfield well. Foxy Seaside, we changed her shoes up front. That's on me. I had said, geez, we should try this and see if it works, and it didn't. She was rough a couple of times and made a break. It's pretty hard for me not to blame myself on that one. So put the shoes back on her we had, try to get her away from her knee best we can. She's not mauling it, but it is costing her. And then we'll go from there with Foxy. Gorgeous Package. The biggest reason I am staying here tomorrow is to qualify Gorgeous Package. Qualify Gorgeous Package, school a couple of horses, train some in the morning, and see if we can get everything back on track. I as much as I feel I need to be in Kentucky, do I? Jolene Hall's been great. James isn't going to have a problem with Jolene Hall. And Zena Kemp, warm her up hard. I think we're going to put the V martingale on her. Warm her up hard. See how she feels. Get her head on straight and race her tomorrow in Kentucky. We can't do anything more with her that we've done to keep her on point. So I'm going to chalk it up to her being a 2-year-old, making a break. Don't get too excited. Put her back in and race her accordingly again. That's my feeling with Jolene anyway. Or with Zena Kemp anyway. Gaslight Hall, he's over here to do his job, and he's going to do it. I'm going to race him here tomorrow night. Aunt Lily, I'm going to race her Thursday at Scioto. She's in a better class. Hopefully we got her in a good place. Blue Ventura will race next week, and Uncle Danny falls under the exact same criteria as Supermind. Needs to be 100% healthy when he goes on the track. They're both in the Buckeye next week. So there's just an update of the Ohio horses. A very, very similar conversation I had with Tim about our Pennsylvania horses. Sweet Lake is going out in the field. You guys know that. We have some horses moving around Kentucky. We have some horses coming back to Ohio. We have some horses coming to Ohio from Ontario, one going to Ontario from Ohio. A lot going on over the next little week, but everything has to be geared on getting the burn back on track. Now, as I say that, I don't want people to think that we just haphazardly race and it's not a big deal. No, we always take things very seriously, but there can't be anything overlooked or missed over the next week or two. So that's where we're at in the burn. I don't think any of that is a shock or a surprise to you. I am under a lot of stress, as I'm supposed to be. This is my job. I take it very seriously. And I wanted to reiterate that to our trainers also. So you are our eyes and ears. You are the guys that are on the ground. You are the front line. Make sure that we get this right. And they do anyway. But every so often there has to be a conversation about it. And when the burn's in a bit of a slump and a lull, this is one of those times. So anyway, rest assured we are on top of it and doing our best to get everything squared away. I won't be in Kentucky tomorrow as I drive back to Ohio. I think I've convinced myself here is where I need to be. When it comes to Jolene Hall, she's pretty easy to drive, and I think James will do fine with her. When it comes to Zena Kemp, he has every bit of an opportunity that I do, right? She made a break on me last week and shouldn't have, but has raced fine for Dexter other than the time he hit the wheel with her. So we'll make sure that she's on point also. And Jailbird Jog, obviously Timmy knows her, and so does Eric. So I have to be in the right place at the right time, and with qualifiers, schoolers, training tomorrow, and everything that needs to be done here in Ohio, I think it's probably best that I stay pretty close to home tomorrow afternoon. So with that, I'm going to let you go. I want to talk to you guys later. I guess quick look at who we have tonight might not hurt, I suppose. Unless I want to smash this thing into 100 pieces. We have tonight, we just had Manhattan Money this afternoon. He's racing in a little bit. This is not right, is it? Okay, they say 3 points tomorrow. Okay, yeah, it is right. Manhattan Money's racing this afternoon. Delicious Stone, Chicago Hall. Obviously, Delicious Stone has, although he would have to win 5 times a day to fix everything going on, he has been racing well. We can only ask him to continue to do well, which it appears he will. Manhattan Money's in a good place this afternoon in Pennsylvania, 2:45, and then Chicago Hall tonight. As I said to everybody, Chicago Hall was kind of on my list to give him a week or so off. If he doesn't race as well tonight, he'll just get a week in the field before his next grassroots. Want to keep him as sharp and as fresh as we can all summer long. So that will be the plan there. Tomorrow, a lot more on the go. 3 Point is in. Now I'm looking. It looks like money. They got 3 Point at. Really? He races at 105? I thought he raced later. We have 3 Point Blue Chip in tomorrow. Degas is not in tomorrow. Scratched. Jolene Hall. Dune is at Hastings tomorrow. Hey, they got the Hastings. No, they got the Hastings entry. Zena Kemp is in. Jolene Hall, Jailbird Jog is in. Looks like Money will race at. I don't think that's right. Maybe it is. I'm going to race Hughes and Fearless Peter and Gaslight Hall tomorrow night also. So there you have it. A little update for everybody. Again, trying to the message to everybody, our trainers, to you, myself, to everybody for today is focus on getting everything back on track, get back to doing the basics. And as I say to Ollie all the time, as somebody pointed out to me, trust your mechanics. So we'll get there. Today is a new day. I will talk to you all very soon. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care.